Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into something pretty cool. It's an article from Prime AI, and the title is, Are Virtual Fitting Rooms the Game Changer? Or just another trend in fashion e-commerce, I think we've all seen those virtual fitting rooms popping up online, and it just feels like such a hot topic right now. And this article kind of hints that maybe the real game changer is something even more practical and effective than just a virtual try-on. So we're going to dig into all of that today and find out what's really happening in the world of AI and fashion.
I think it's a great topic to dive into, because almost everyone can relate to the desire for clothes that fit perfectly, right? That's sort of the holy grail of shopping, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, totally. It's like the eternal struggle. And that's where those virtual fitting rooms come in, right? They're trying to solve that problem by using AR and AI to let you try on clothes virtually. And we're seeing brands like ASOS, Nike, and Goddiva already using them. It sounds pretty convenient in theory, being able to see how that dress or those jeans will actually look on you without leaving your house.
The convenience is definitely a huge selling point, and I think it does create a sense of innovation for brands. Like, they're on the cutting edge, But the article brings up a really important limitation, and that's the accuracy of sizing. Virtual fitting rooms often struggle to get that part right, and as anyone who shopped online knows, inaccurate sizing is a huge source of frustration.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's like playing sizing roulette every time you order something.
Exactly. And that's why the article really emphasizes AI-powered size recommendation tools as the potential game changer. They go beyond just the visual aspect and actually try to get to the root of the problem, which is finding clothes that fit your unique body.
Okay, so it's not just about seeing what it looks like, but about getting a size that's actually going to work for you. That makes a lot of sense. So how do these size recommendation tools actually work?
Well, they leverage machine learning, which is a type of AI that allows computers to learn from data without being explicitly programmed. So these tools analyze tons of data about body measurements, garment dimensions, customer purchase history, and even return rates. They're constantly learning and refining their recommendations based on what's actually happening in the real world.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. It's like having a personal stylist who's constantly learning and adapting to your needs.
That's a great way to put it. Now, the article introduces us to two leading providers of virtual fitting tech, Zyler and 3D Look, and they each have a different approach. Zyler focuses on accessibility. You just need one photo to create your personalized avatar. And they've had success with Goddiva, particularly for occasion wear, where visualizing the full outfit is really important.
Yeah, like for a wedding dress or a formal gown. You really want to see how it all comes together.
Exactly. Now, 3D Look prioritizes precision. They use advanced body scanning to create highly accurate 3D avatars. And they've done work with Bershka in the fast fashion world.
So it's kind of a trade-off between ease of use and super accuracy.
Interesting. Yeah, and what's intriguing is that the article suggests Zyler's accessibility might actually make it more versatile for retailers, especially because it can integrate with other tools like size recommendation engines. So you could have a system where you get a virtual try-on and AI-powered size recommendation.
Oh, wow. That would be amazing. Like the best of both worlds.
Exactly. A powerful combination. And that brings us back to those unsung heroes, the AI-powered size recommendation tools.
You mentioned they get to the root of the problem. Can you break down how they actually work? What kind of data are we talking about?
Well, as I mentioned, they use machine learning, which is a type of artificial intelligence that helps computers learn from data. And they analyze massive data sets. Think about all the information available, body measurements, garment dimensions, you've got customer purchase history, even return rates. All of this gets fed into the system.
So they're using real-world data to constantly learn and refine their recommendations. That's fascinating.
It is, and the article highlights some impressive results. Prime AI, for instance, claims that they've helped clients reduce returns by an average of 24%.
Whoa, that's huge. Not just for the retailers, but think about the environmental impact as well.
Exactly. Less waste, fewer returns, happier customers. It's a win-win all around.
Absolutely. And I understand Prime AI has two specific tools that really exemplify this approach, Fit Finder and Shoe Size Finder. What can you tell us about those?
Well, let's start with Fit Finder. What sets it apart is that it goes beyond just a standard size chart. It takes into account your unique proportions, your style preferences, and even the properties of the garment's fabric. Because a flowy silk dress will probably fit differently than a structured denim jacket, even if they're technically the same size.
Right. It's about understanding the nuances of fit and how different materials behave.
Exactly. Fit Finder takes all of that into account. No more squinting at size charts and trying to decipher cryptic measurements.
That's a huge relief for anyone who's ever struggled with inconsistent sizing across brands. So what about Shoe Size Finder? How does that work?
It's surprisingly simple but effective. You take a photo of your foot, and Prime AI's AI analyzes the dimensions. It factors in those brand-specific variations that can be so frustrating when buying shoes online.
I'm always hesitant to buy shoes online because sizing can be such a gamble. This sounds like a game changer.
It has the potential to be. And what's really great is that both Fit Finder and Shoe Size Finder are designed to benefit both retailers and customers. Retailers see fewer returns, which saves them money and resources, and customers get clothes that actually fit, which leads to higher satisfaction and loyalty.
It's a perfect example of how technology can create a win-win situation.
Yeah.
And speaking of wins, the article also touches on the sustainability aspect of size recommendation tools, which I found really interesting.
Ah, yes. This is a crucial benefit that often gets overlooked. Fewer returns mean less waste and a smaller carbon footprint from all that shipping and processing.
It's amazing how something as seemingly simple as finding the right size can have such a ripple effect.
It really does. It speaks to the interconnectedness of things.
Yeah.
And it aligns perfectly with the growing consumer demand for ethical and eco-conscious fashion.
Right. People are more aware than ever of the environmental impact of their choices, and they want to support brands that are making a difference.
Exactly. And these tools offer a tangible way for consumers to make more sustainable choices without sacrificing style or convenience.
It's like the best of both worlds. You get clothes that fit, you reduce waste, and you support brands that are doing things the right way.
Precisely. And it's exciting to see how these technologies are evolving and maturing. The future of online fashion is all about finding that sweet spot between innovation and practicality, meeting customer needs and business objectives.
I love that. It's about creating solutions that are both exciting and effective. And we've talked a lot about Prime AI, but the article also mentions other companies using these tools in interesting ways. So before we wrap up, I'd love to hear more about those other examples.
Absolutely. Let's explore some of that diversity and see what lessons we can glean from their experiences. Well, one company that really stands out is ASOS. They've taken a pretty comprehensive approach. They've got this virtual catwalk feature and also a fit assistant.
A virtual catwalk. That sounds fun. What is that exactly?
What uses augmented reality? So you can actually see models walking around in your own environment, like right through your smartphone camera. It's a way to bring their ASOS design products to life. Make it more immersive for the shopper.
So it's like having a personal fashion show right in your living room.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, especially for a brand like ASOS. It's all about those trendy styles.
Yeah, exactly. And then they pair that with their fit assistant, which uses machine learning to recommend the best size based on your height, weight, past purchases, all that good stuff.
So it's like having a virtual stylist who helps you make those sizing decisions.
Yeah.
I like that they're combining the visuals with the practical side of things.
It's a smart strategy. And the article mentions that ASOS has seen some pretty significant improvements in customer satisfaction since they implemented these features.
That makes sense. It's all about making the shopping experience more enjoyable and personalized, which builds loyalty in the long run.
Exactly. And another interesting example is Nike. You know, they've been at the forefront of footwear fitting with their Nike Fit technology.
Okay, yeah, I've heard about that. Finding the right shoe size online is always such a pain. So does Nike Fit lean more towards those precise size recommendations, or is it more about visualizing the shoe?
Well, it does use AR to show you how the shoes would look on your feet, but it doesn't really focus as much on giving you a specific size recommendation like some other tools do. It's more about helping you visualize the style and get a feel for the overall look and fit.
Got it. So it's less about taking precise measurements and more about giving you that visual confidence before you click buy.
Exactly. It's about reducing that hesitation when buying shoes online. And it's interesting to note that they also have those smart fitting rooms in their physical stores as well, which really blurs the lines between the digital and physical.
Oh yeah, those are awesome. I've been to one. You can scan the barcodes and request different sizes or colors without leaving the fitting room.
Exactly. It's like the ultimate inconvenience and efficiency.
So we've got ASOS going for a comprehensive approach with visuals and size recommendations. Nike's more about visualization and the overall experience, and then Godiva's using Zyler's virtual fitting room tech to target that special occasion market.
Yes, Goddiva really understood that for those big purchases like formal gowns and wedding dresses, brides really want to see how those garments will actually look on their body before they commit.
It makes total sense. It's a big decision. You don't want to take any chances with your dream wedding dress.
Exactly. And it's a great example of how this technology can be tailored to meet the specific needs of different customer segments. But while these virtual fitting rooms can enhance the shopping experience and boost confidence, the article does acknowledge that they haven't always been a home run for every brand.
Really? So some companies have tried it out but haven't fully integrated it into their platforms.
Exactly. Hugo Boss is one example. They partnered with a company called Reactive Reality back in 2022 to launch a virtual try-on service. Let customers create avatars, try on clothes, virtually all that.
That sounds pretty promising. What happened?
Well, as of December 2024, it doesn't look like it's featured on their website anymore. It's possible it was just a limited trial, or maybe they decided not to continue for other reasons.
I wonder why. Maybe it was too expensive to implement, or they just didn't see the return on investment they were hoping for.
It's definitely possible. The article doesn't really go into detail about their reasoning, but it does mention that Hugo Boss still offers things like detailed size charts and fit guides.
So they've shifted their focus back to those more practical solutions we were talking about earlier, making sure customers have accurate sizing info.
Exactly. And it's not just Hugo Boss. Zalando, which is Europe's largest online fashion retailer, has also been experimenting.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. What have they been up to?
They launched a pilot program in October 2024, let customers create 3D avatars and virtually try on a selection of Levi's apparel.
Levi's is a good choice for a pilot program. They've got those classic styles and pretty consistent sizing, so it's a good test case. Is the program still running?
Well, the article implies that a fully developed virtual fitting room hasn't become a core part of their platform yet. They're still kind of exploring and haven't committed to a full rollout as of December 2024.
It's interesting to see how even these big players are still figuring out how to make this technology work best for them. Seems like there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Absolutely. Each brand has to find what aligns best with their goals and their target audience. And speaking of challenges, one thing the article touches on is the issue of privacy concerns with these virtual fitting technologies.
Right, of course. These tools often rely on collecting a lot of customer data, like images and body measurements. So privacy is a huge concern.
Absolutely. People want to know that their information is being handled responsibly and securely, and they should. The article outlines some key privacy considerations that brands and tech providers need to be thinking about.
Like what specifically? What are some of the best practices they should be following?
Well, the article really emphasizes building those privacy features into the technology from the ground up. It's called privacy by design. Basically, it means prioritizing data security from the very beginning, not as an afterthought.
Makes sense. It's always easier to build something right the first time than to try to fix it later.
Exactly. And they also recommend being completely transparent with customers about how their data is being used, stored, and protected. Clear and accessible privacy policies are crucial for building trust.
Transparency is so important, especially when it comes to something as sensitive as personal data. People need to feel confident that their information is in good hands.
I couldn't agree more. And it's not just about informing customers, it's about empowering them.
What do you mean by that?
Giving users the ability to delete their data or opt out of storage altogether, it shows that you respect their privacy and give them control over their own information.
That's a great point. It shifts the balance of power back to the user.
Yeah.
Which is really important for building trust.
Precisely. And the article even suggests that in the long run, privacy can actually become a competitive advantage.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just about avoiding risk. It's about actively building customer loyalty and trust by showing that you're committed to protecting their information.
Exactly. In a world where data breaches and privacy scandals are becoming more common, that can be a really powerful differentiator for brands. It's a balancing act, isn't it? Pushing the boundaries of innovation while making sure privacy and security are at the forefront. The brands that can find that balance will be the ones that shape the future of online fashion.
Well said. And before we move on, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier, the environmental impact. Of those size recommendation tools, the article makes a strong case for how these tools can contribute to a more sustainable fashion industry.
Yeah, it's such a win-win. Making sustainable choices without having to sacrifice convenience or style.
Absolutely. And it aligns perfectly with what consumers are looking for these days, ethical and eco-conscious fashion.
Right. People are more aware than ever of their impact, and they want to support brands that are taking steps to reduce their footprint.
Exactly. And these tools are a perfect example of how technology can be used to create a more sustainable future for fashion. Well said. So we've covered a lot in this segment. We've seen how different brands are approaching these technologies. It's clear that the future of online fashion is going to be shaped by a lot of different factors. And the brands that can navigate this complex landscape effectively will be the ones that thrive.
I couldn't agree more. It's complex, but it's also really exciting. So many possibilities.
Absolutely. And with that in mind, let's move on to our final segment, where we'll kind of synthesize everything we've discussed and explore what it all means for you, the listener. All right, so we've taken this deep dive into virtual fitting rooms, explored those AI-powered size recommendation tools, and even touched on the bigger picture of how this tech is changing things.
Yeah, it's been fascinating to see how AI is impacting not just the way we shop, but our whole relationship with clothes and fashion.
So as we wrap things up, let's bring it back to you, the listener. Why should you care about all of this? What's the takeaway beyond all the tech talk?
Well, on a practical level, this technology could make online shopping so much smoother and more enjoyable. Imagine ordering clothes online and knowing they'll fit perfectly every time. No more guessing games with sizes, no more piles of returns.
Oh man, that'd be a dream come true. Less stress, less waste. It's a win for everyone.
Exactly. But it goes beyond just personal benefits. This technology represents a real shift in how retailers think about the customer experience. It's moving away from that impersonal, one-size-fits-all approach and embracing personalization.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. How does AI make this shift towards personalization possible?
Well, AI lets retailers gather and analyze tons of data about your preferences, your body shape, your style, even your past purchases. This means they can give you more tailored recommendations, create more targeted marketing campaigns, and ultimately make your shopping experience more satisfying and relevant.
So it's not just about finding the right size.
Yeah.
It's about creating a deeper, more personalized relationship between the brand and the customer. It's like having a personal stylist who really gets you.
Exactly. And that's something I find really exciting. We're moving towards a future where technology enhances human connection rather than replacing it.
I love that. It's about using AI to create a more human-centered shopping experience that's both convenient and personalized.
Exactly. And that benefits everyone. So if you're intrigued by what you've heard today, I encourage you to explore further. Check out Prime AI's website, play around with some virtual fitting room tools, see how this technology could impact your own online shopping.
Great advice. And who knows, maybe one day we'll be using AI to shop for everything. Furniture, cars, even houses.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
They really are.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning.
Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive into the world of AI and fashion. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, stay curious.